courageous are you to build capacity for the future of work, which seems to be very multidimensional, going by what we see in these times? Stick around, I'll be right back. Welcome back. So what can we learn from the concept of synergy and synthesis in order to build capacity for interdisciplinary research, especially in these trying times where things are changing rapidly? There's a tendency for researchers to have a very narrow scope on the particular topic they are dealing with. It might be narrow for the layman, but it is very broad in your eyes. I do understand that. But after you're done with your PhD, there's a very, very urgent need for you to look beyond that narrow scope. You need to know how your research applies to other social issues or business issues out there. We need to look into how we can benefit from the concept of synergy. How can you gain the most possible benefit from the activities that you're involved in right now? So let's assume that you have identified the most topical issues in the community or in the business context which your research can feed into. You've looked at the touch points which your research points to. The topical issues which you have identified regarding your research and how it relates to business and community needs will determine how you now start to read, how you start to network, and how you start to broaden your horizon in terms of the new area you're looking into. There will be need for courage, a lot of passion needs to be developed around those new areas. Of course, there will be no need to go into an area you're not passionate about. For example, there's a huge need for inclusivity in education right now as a result of the increase in the uptake in online learning spaces. A lot of kids in the rural areas have been excluded from education right now, and there's increase in dropouts. You might want to consider how does your research relate to solving that problem, and how can you develop a proposal around that? Particularly, how can you collaborate with people in other areas, in other fields, who might be knowledgeable in other areas, in other technical areas that you might be willing to contribute to. So there's need for you to start thinking about that. For example, in the business spaces, there's need to move into online shopping, online learning spaces, online work, working from home. There's need for companies to innovate in terms of the apps they use. There's need for them to save more time, to reduce costs in the value chain, to reduce waste. So how does your research align with that? Those are the lines you have to be thinking. Now we need to think of synthesizing the whole area that you have identified in such a way that you develop your own unique expertise around that. There has to be novelty involved in this. So you have to now think of linking all the new touch points that your research relates to craft a new area which is very unique to you. I wish you the very best as you do this. I would like to hear from you. I also offer one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching. Do stay in touch. Take care. All the best.